They called her the fiery Latina of 3LW, the sparkle of the Cheetah Girls, and the outspoken queen of the real. But behind the camera flashes, the fame, and the glitter, Adrienne Bailon-Houghton carried a secret heartbreak that fame could never heal. For years, she smiled on television while privately begging God for one thing the world could never give her: a child of her own. Tonight on my channel, we take you deep inside Adrienne's extraordinary journey, from fame to faith, from heartbreak to healing, from girl group sensation to loving mother. It's a story of resilience, love, and divine timing, where every struggle led her to her greatest blessing, her son, James Houghton. Born in New York City, Adrienne Bailon rose to stardom at just 15 when she became one-third of the R&B girl group 3LW. The hits came fast: No More, Baby I'ma Do Right ruled the early 2000s, and suddenly Adrienne was living every teenage dream. Then came Disney Channel's The Cheetah Girls, where she became a global sensation alongside Raven-Symoné, Keely Williams, and Sabrina Bryan. Adrienne was adored, a role model for millions of young girls. But while the world saw her success, few knew how lost she often felt. A young girl navigating fame before she truly knew herself. Years later, she transitioned from pop star to talk show host on The Real, where her honesty, faith, and emotion made her a fan favorite. But even then, Adrienne's biggest dream remained unfulfilled. The world saw her laugh, but privately, she cried, longing to be a mother. Her love story with Israel Houghton began at a time when the world least expected it. He was a celebrated gospel artist, a man of deep faith, and divorced. When the two began dating, the headlines were harsh. People judged, gossiped, and speculated. But Adrienne stood her ground. She once revealed, "I chose to love a flawed person, and I'm also flawed. I chose grace." Their relationship faced scrutiny, but love won. In 2016, Adrienne and Israel married in a breathtaking ceremony in Paris, France, the city of love. It was the beginning of a new chapter, but behind the fairy tale photos, Adrienne faced her hardest battle yet. For years, she struggled with infertility. The doctors told her that pregnancy might not be possible. She prayed, cried, and clung to faith when hope seemed gone. There were nights, she admitted, I'd cry myself to sleep asking God, why not me? Then, after years of waiting and heartbreak, came James Houghton, born through surrogacy, Adrienne's miracle child. The moment she first held him, everything changed. She described it tearfully. "I still look at him and think, you're real. God didn't forget even his cuticles. I prayed for this, and now he's here." Now 3 years into motherhood, Adrienne calls it the most peaceful and beautiful time of her life. She's a work-from-home mom who plans her entire day around her son's naps and piano lessons. She laughs, saying, "I literally schedule my interviews during his nap time. When he's asleep, it's mommy's hustle hour." Is her reflection, bold, talkative, and full of life. "I'm raising myself," Adrienne jokes. "He's got Israel's face, but my whole personality." The boy even corrects his mom. "Can you say please?" And Adrienne can't help but laugh, realizing she's raising a confident, expressive little soul, something she always prayed for. Adrienne often talks about how her faith guided her through motherhood. She didn't just want a child, she wanted to raise one with intention, with humility, and with love. Despite growing up with humble beginnings, Ever is being raised in comfort. But Adrienne and Israel are determined to ground him in values. She tells him, "You can't get everything you want in life. We work for the things we have." She celebrates his efforts, not just his gifts. When Ever plays piano, Adrienne doesn't say, "You're amazing." Instead, she says, "You practice so well today, and that's why you sound better." It's a reflection of how she was raised, not spoiled, but strengthened by discipline and faith. If motherhood reshaped Adrienne's heart, marriage refined her soul. Nearly 10 years after their Paris wedding, Adrienne and Israel are more in love than ever. They laugh through chaos, co-sleep with their son, and call their massive 12-foot bed the family mattress. She says, "There's nothing sexier than watching a father love his child." They've learned to give each other grace, even when life gets messy. "Some nights I oil myself up and come out of the shower ready," Adrienne laughs. "And he's already snoring. But instead of being upset, I think, he's such a good husband and father. I'll give him grace." They make sure to prioritize spicy time, planning intentional date nights, sometimes just sneaking away to the city for an overnight stay. Adrienne believes the greatest gift you can give your child is to love your spouse well. I watched my dad love my mom, she says, and that's how I want Ever to grow up. Knowing love, seeing love, feeling love. Next November marks 10 years of marriage for Adrienne and Israel, but instead of a huge vow renewal, they're planning something deeply personal, returning to Paris, the city where it all began. I'm wearing my wedding dress again, she says with a laugh. We're not renewing vows, we're living them every day. That's the core of Adrienne's belief. Love isn't about perfection, it's about partnership, prayer, and persistence. Through faith, failure, and forgiveness, she's found her forever. While motherhood defines her joy, Adrienne's creativity hasn't stopped. She continues her music projects with Israel, runs her fashion line La Voûte, and still connects with fans through her digital platforms. But she's more selective now. Peace comes first. She says, I don't want to miss a thing. I love that I can be part of my son's everyday life and still create. I get to do interviews at noon and record music at midnight. They tease, they laugh, and they stay grounded because they never forget where they came from. Industry insiders say Adrienne's evolution is one of Hollywood's most graceful transitions. She didn't let fame define her. She let faith refine her. From 3LW and the Cheetah Girls to The Real and Motherhood, every stage has shown a woman unafraid to grow. A former co-star once said, Adrienne always had the heart of a mom, nurturing, passionate, protective. It just took time for her to find her moment, and she did. In the laughter of a 3-year-old boy named Ever. Today, Adrienne calls her life a miracle in progress. She's open to adoption or even carrying another child naturally one day, but she says she's at peace either way. If it's just me and Ever, I'll pour everything into him. And if we're blessed with more, what a gift. This peace, this stillness, it's what she prayed for all along. Fame gave her spotlight, motherhood gave her purpose. And as she prepares to celebrate 10 years of marriage, Adrienne Bailon-Houghton stands not as a pop star or a talk show host, but as a woman who found everything she ever wanted through faith, love, and a little boy's laughter. From the stages of Disney Channel to the quiet halls of her home studio, Adrienne Bailon has lived 1,000 lives. But the one she cherishes most is the one where she wakes up to mama every morning. Because sometimes the greatest role a woman will ever play is the one she prayed hardest for.